And
Yep.
some people may or may not like that. And anybody that knows me knows I am a huge lover of Mario Cristobal. I think he is the answer, hands down, at the University of Miami until someone else pops up and becomes a better favorite later on. But all of those coaches have some things in common. And one of the main things they have is when they speak about their young men, there's a way that you understand that they want the absolute best out of you, and they don't have to give you a halftime speech. They don't have to scream and lie to your parents and when you were recruiting them. Okay, and some people do the bag man thing, that happens, yes. But when you build a program, it's about really making them better. And the lessons that you learn to become a better football player, you can take that through anything. If you want to be a great student, what are you going to do? Study your behind off. Well, you can't be the best running back in the country if you ain't willing to run, if you ain't willing to lift. So you do all the things to become a good football player, but you don't want to do the right things to become a better person, to become a better student. Okay, it all has to work together. And I'm not saying that Coach Diaz does not do these things because I'm not in the program to know if he isn't. But I do know that when it comes to our brand of football, literally in 2020, it's one sentence: do enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that. Can't.
Oh,
Hopefully, I'll say it on YouTube until I'm blue in the face. I say it on Mark Rogers TV. I'll say it on here if and when I'm ever able to come back.
hey, you
Until
are
the
invited
right
anytime you
people
want.
hear this, we have to make sure it's put out there. That
Yeah.
crap is mediocre. And it's no better than Coach Randy Shannon saying people are flying around and we had an electric practice today, as much as I love Coach Randy Shannon. It's no better than Al Golden refusing to fire his brother-in-law. And it's no better than Mark Richt choosing his son over going out with a bang and having a good legacy and not just turning into a retirement home. Okay, all those things held this program from taking the higher step, and we got to stop.
Complacency.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you make some really good points about Manny Diaz, and I'm a believer in Manny. I'm of the belief that he's learning. I think he's a smart dude, right? I think there's a huge important juxtaposition between this year and last year.
Mhm.
In that last year was
Hell.
I will admit, I was eating everything that Manny was feeding us, right? Like admittedly, 100% admittedly.
I
It
mean,
was
how could you not?
Yep.
exactly.
He pulls up in a yacht and shuts down
Yeah.
up at Tallahassee. I mean, he comes in, he talks about having a fast, aggressive offense to match his fast, aggressive defense. I
Yep.
mean, he basically gave college football a proverbial middle finger. How
Yeah.
could you? I mean, at Miami, that's what we grew up hearing stories about. Some of
Exactly.
you all may have lived it. I'm young, so I didn't I
Yeah.
didn't live the glory days.
Yeah.
Some of the listeners out there. But I mean, this dude was like front page news almost every day with something crazy. But
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, so I was eating it, so whatever. But in retrospect, it was a clown show, especially when you pair it with how we did in the season. Because really, if you run the table and you kick everybody's behind, night to night, then it looks really cool, right? If you go 6-7, it's a clown show. There's memes being made of him on live streams, and there's wrestling, and there's, yachts, and just all this
CNN.
booze, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a clown show, man. This year has been so much better. And this is why I believe in Manny right now. It's a fluid situation, but I am all aboard the Manny train right now, and I feel like he's learning. I feel like at the end of the year he probably did some self-reflection and thought like that was a whole lot of style and not a lot of substance, and so I need to flip it. And I said this after that Virginia game. I said it on this podcast was to give Manny the benefit of the doubt with the slip and slide thing. I said he's clearly in this learning process of how to be effective as a coach but still have the players love him, because almost all of them have his back. They all love Manny, right?
Yeah.
But it's because he clowns with them, like he behaves on occasion. He behaves like a young man. And sometimes that's what these kids need. Sometimes it's not, to make them better. And so I definitely tried to give Manny the benefit of the doubt in that situation. It was wrong in my opinion. However, I believe hopefully he can look at that at the end of the year and be like, that was stupid. I need to demand more. And he needs to line up his philosophy more with the type of stuff that you're saying, in that I can no longer demand mediocrity from these kids. Because like you said, you are what you are what you put into your mind or your body or whatever. And we've become incredibly mediocre,
Yeah, and I remember when I first started YouTube, it was the spring of 2018, going into that fall, and it's funny because some people felt like I picked a very convenient time when we were getting back up there uh, to
Yeah.
to get into YouTube, and it was something I just did spontaneously. I didn't think about it. It's just my friends were always saying, "You got all these ideas. You talking to us on the phone for 4 hours? Put it out there,
Yeah.
like make a YouTube channel." And I did, and it kind of blew up, and I'm thankful for that. It's been an amazing opportunity. But I say that because you look at, if someone wants to say after the 2016 and 17 season that Miami would not be either in the playoffs or a perennial 10-win team, I would tell you you're crazy. I mean, you think about what we were building. 2016, you win a bowl game for the first time. We looked so sharp in that West. Well, after the second half, we looked so sharp. That first quarter was really hard to watch,
I was so
offensively especially. I mean, to find out Brad Kaya gets chewed out for pulling and throwing it because, according to Mark Richt, that wasn't the right read. It's like, oh man, we got that guy coming back. That's really crazy. But everyone said, like, throw the now routes. They're playing 15 yards off. We throw it one time, we break 60 yards, and Mon Richards takes it to the crib, touchdown. That you could turn it off right then and know the outcome of the game. From that second on, the one thing West Virginia was terrified of, we brought. They knew the defense was elite. They knew we had a pretty good QB and one of the best tight ends in college football at the time. But once Brad Kaya opened that up, oh, it was over. When you look at that, then you turn, that's 9-4. Then you turn around in 2017. Some people call it fool's gold. I don't like saying that because those young men had to go out there and do what they did and win the games that they did. So it didn't work out. But I think that season was actually pretty good, in my opinion. You look at 2017, 10 wins, you beat Notre Dame, you beat Tech, you break the Tallahassee streak. Like, all of this stuff is going on an upward trajectory. And to see it just flatline and go tumbling down for 2 more years was horrible. And the one thing people forget in all of this is that you have real living human beings whose livelihoods we were sacrificing. And when we recruit them and we tell them to come out here and play for us, and we wasted them. We wasted their talents. We wasted their efforts. Horrible.
Well, and you know what? What's funny is that, so in the spring of 2018, that's when I joined State of the U. So we kind of have similar, timelines and things like that. And yeah, the last 2 years, I mean, it was definitely a funny timing to, start covering the Canes. But so I want to switch gears, because we only have a few minutes left. And don't worry, we're definitely going to have you on many more times. But, early National Signing Day is in a few weeks. Terrence Lewis got the crystal ball to Auburn, so it looks like that is a no-go. Marcavius Brown looks like he could be going to Ole Miss. We have about 3 or 4 spots left. What is your outlook on how we should finish this 2021 class? If you have any guys you think we could sign or that we should sign, what do you think about that?
You know what? To be honest with everyone who's listening, if we were to just make sure we sign the class we currently have, I would be overtoply happy.
Yeah.
Of course, there's people I would want us to add in. But if you were to tell me that not only does Leonard Taylor sign with us officially, but he's early enrolling, and by this time next month will already be an official Miami Hurricane, like practicing Miami Hurricane. Yeah. He will be on campus, moved in Miami Hurricane, the number one defensive tackle in the country. I would laugh like, yeah, no, that guy went to Florida. He's not coming to Miami. Not only did he pick us on CBS, not only did he shut it down, like literally, you know, a lot of people say that. He really shut it down. And not only is he signing in December, he's also early enrolling. Like the impact of stuff like that. And James Williams, only because he's going to a private school, can't enroll early. You know, some schools don't allow you to do that. Okay, but he's shutting it down and signing in December also. You have Romello Brinson and Big Baby Seymour, Elijah Arroyo, Chase Smith, Cam Kinchins, the offensive lineman McLaughlin, Tyler Johnson, Jaquan Johnson's little brother, legacy player, Thomas Davis, who I think is a really good outside linebacker, edge rusher type for us, kind of like a Trent Harris coming in to play linebacker.
Yeah.
Brantley, a young man who I think is not only a culture player, but is going to give us one heck of an effort any snap he gets. And Deshaun Troutman, who I love his film. Love.
That dude is a missile.
Not only, he's a leader too.
Yeah.
And I mean like old school, grab you by your face mask, you better get it right leader.
He's got that old school cane in him.
Yeah, and player to player, that's okay. Once you start creeping in the coaches doing that, it ain't 1968 no more. We don't do that's my whole gripe with how some coaches handle that. I really, really, really dislike that treatment of other young men. But every name I just listed off, except for James Williams, not only is signing early, they're all early enrollees. That's the key that we just started doing like 4 or 5 years ago. Because we thought, oh, we're Miami private school, we don't do that. Be here when you get here, whether it's summer session A, B, or 2 weeks before the first game. Think about the bodies we're bringing in and adding to our practices.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where I am. I know we're kind of short on time. I could really go in with recruiting. Losing Collins was something that a lot of us in the know kind of just was waiting to be public. I mean, that's been in the works for months.
Yeah. Surprised it took this long, honestly.
Huh?
I'm surprised it took up until now, like, to happen.
Yeah. And I think that was mainly because he has to find someone else that's willing to allow him. Because the biggest gripe with that, and I will let your listeners know, is that he is an offensive lineman who wants to play defensive line at the college level. And upon reevaluation, it's just
not going to happen in Miami.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not.
It's not going to happen here at the U. He's not going to play D-line here. So.
Well, and you know what? Hopefully he finds that right situation for him. So I think it'll work in for both parties.
Yeah, and it's all good. All you can do is wish a young man, Godspeed. You got it. Go do your thing.
Absolutely. I mean that's the only time that it might be the only time this season I've tweeted at a player or a recruit directly and saying, I'd like. Go find what you're looking for, man. I really do hope the best for him. So.
Absolutely.
Hey,
man, but I know we're getting low on time, and I do have to, get out of here. So, hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. Yet again, I'm Holsum Holloway from YouTube. You go ahead and type it in. Holsum is how you spell Holsum. And then the number 1, and Holloway, my last name, Holloway. Type it in on YouTube, and I do film breakdowns. I do Monday night lives at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whenever Marsh decides he wants to answer the phone, we do afternoon lives. He's the only person that gets me to literally not go to work for a couple hours and talk to him on live. So, he's my boy. So, I appreciate it so much. Thank you all so
family,
much.
brother. Yeah.
I'll do it one time for you guys. 4's up. I'll do it up.
I'm doing it with you, bro. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you having you on.
All right. Have a great one.
Yep. See ya. Cool. Hey, Marsh, great choice, man. Holsum was an incredible guest, and make sure y'all are checking out his YouTube.